I just wanted to hop on for a second and offer my 2 cents as we have seen this last collective reading unfold in many reviving patterns or struggling ones. And so when the heart gets heavy, I thought I would offer something that has worked for me and has worked for other people that I have offered this to. When the heart is heavy, when times are stressful, when tensions are high, when the fire mind is burning inside, there are mudras that I've often turned to. And before I realized what mudra was, I was definitely like doing things within myself. And sure enough, yeah, it absolutely is a form of stim therapy. And sure enough, yeah, there is absolutely a lot of research to show the concentration of nerve endings in the actual pulp of the finger and the way that relays messages in so many ways to the brain and actually shapes it. So when you find yourself riled up and stressed and enraged, there are two things that I turn to. And one is the Shuni Mudra, which is very subtle, very easy to do in your pocket, especially when you're in public. Nobody will be none the wiser. And it's a mudra that assists us in patience. Shuni Mudra, you're really just sort of reaching the pulps of the fingers together with your middle finger and your thumb. Something that my strange brain attaches to is the feeling of the like chubbiness of my pulp against the ridge of my finger, and press those things together. And in mudra, you do focus on other fingers as well, and so you are kind of keeping these in line and in order. And it actually feels like a very even plane, and like a good geometry in the way that your fingers fold. Another mudra that I have often turned to is a Padma mudra, or a lotus mudra, which is like a vessel for compassion. Is like an ace of cups, sort of teeming full, especially when you find yourself on a low reserve, low reservoirs, when you find yourself parched of patience or compassion. The Shuni is ruled by Saturn, but this lotus and Padma is very much heart chakra energy, and so I think would probably be good assistance to Venus. Both of these I think are very important. Where much like Ajna mudra, you bring the palms together, but these three fingers in the center you separate with a ferocity reaching far out. And very much I'm also focusing on the meat of my palms, my Venus and Mars mounds, pressing together and pressing into, again, the meat of the pulp, or even I have bony fingers, so like aligning the fingers. Use the anatomy of your body to sort of piece your puzzle together, and I'll hold it close. And oftentimes with just the back of my thumbs, where there's that little hole like a whistle, hold to my heart and stretch my fingers. I'm sort of thinking expanding and grounding at the same time with those points, with this meat pressing and with trying to just point my toes or lengthen my fingers, so to speak. And meditating on replenishing and offering and allowing that cup to be filled by myself and by gratitude and by the energy around me, and visually oftentimes imagining it filling and then sensations involved with that, and imagining it being able to expand and pour out, whether that be water and its coolness dripping from my fingers to my feet, pouring over, or whether that be light reflecting off this filled vessel, much like we see glittering light on open bodies of water. those are vital resources. And so even in talking about this, I feel like more invigorated, more hydrated. And I offered this to my aunt when she was going through a really rough time, and did come back to remind me that it did help her find some compassion, and some will and some drive and some inspiration and some motivation where she thought there was none left. And so I hope it has that same effect for you. And I will continue to utilize it in stressful situations, or in situations where people and all of their chaos seems to be bouncing off of more than just them, to try and balance out those rooms, because it's all I can do. It's control my energy, and perhaps find compassion to understand where it is they're coming from without judgment, so that they can also see it in that way.